Hello, it's JP here, Real Life DJ, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to my second episode in the series, Hashtag Questions. So here we are for the second hashtag questions, which firstly I just have to give a massive shout out to you all for sending in questions, for engaging with the videos. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Really appreciated. And at the moment we're sitting on about 770 odd subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. So again, thank you all. It is really appreciated. Anyway, on with the important stuff, which is answering your burning DJ questions. Okay, as I said, had an absolute load of questions come in. I've selected a couple for today, okay, but I've got a load more for the next issue and going forward. But please don't put you off sending in more questions, because effectively what I'm doing is I'm going to batch them up and do them in relevant categories. And also I want to put a little bit more into those specialist questions and give you, well, I think that's what you want, a more in-depth answer opposed to just, you know, washing over the fact. I want to try and give you a full in-depth answer to your questions. Anyway, so today let's have a look what we got. We got 3 questions from you all. Thank you again. So I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I need to obviously be able to read these. So here we go. Okay, this one is firstly from Gadget Man Gaz. Hello, Gadget Man Gaz. JP, have you really had uplights nicked, or were you just joking? This is referring to the entry bit on my first Christmas 2019 gig log, where I mentioned about using the Chauvet FX washes instead of putting out uplights because I have had uplights stolen. Yes, Gaz, no joking, no kidding, I've had them stolen. I've had uplights stolen, I've had cabling stolen, I've had extensions stolen. Basically, if it's not bolted down and you're not within sight of it at any point, then it can be stolen, and that's the unfortunate thing with these. And that's why I quite like the fact of using these Chauvet FX washes. Just one less thing to worry about. All the lights around the room, because you know what it's like, you lot. The DJ equipment is expensive, you know, and when you invest in it and you want it to look good, you don't want these low lifes nicking it. But hey, it happens. So yes, unfortunately, I have had the par can stolen. I'm thinking of investing in some Ape Lab products next year, and I'm now a bit concerned as they're not cheap. Now, those Ape Lab products do look very good. They do look pretty fancy and snazzy. They look like something that somebody would like to lift up and put into their purse or their bag at an event if they're out and about. I've not had any personal experience with these. I've not seen them at any trade shows in the UK. I've seen the guys and girls in the US, especially the likes of DJ Rachel, featuring them heavily over there. But in the UK, I've not had any. I don't even know, you know, if there's proper representation in the UK as far as support and stuff like that. I know there's a couple of companies that do actually sell them, but that's as much as I know. They do look great, but as I say, I've not seen them firsthand, but they do look very desirable and something people can pick up. Personally, it's like with the battery operated par lights from the likes of Chauvet and ADJ. I've looked at those, and you compare that to the Mega Tripar Profile Plus and the likes of those, which are about £70, £80 a piece these days. You suddenly jump to £200 odd for a battery operated one, and that worries me. If you stick a few of those round, will they get nicked? I might look at using them inside my totems and things like that and around my area, because I can see some benefits of a battery operated solution like that, but it would worry me putting them all out around the room. I think DJ Rachel was very brave with the amount that she puts out there. Anyway, back on to Gadget Man Gaz's questions. Also, did you buy the big Xmas letters? And if so, do you offer them out as an extra add-on? If you bought them, how many gigs will you need to use them before you get a return on your investment? Okay, well, no, I didn't buy them. I get they're from a company called Little Gem FX. They're the same as you get the giant love letters and all these other things. Effectively, they are higher grade to most. They are not battery operated, they're mains operated. They have special power packs on them. They're fully pack tested, and I know they work. Little Gem FX will deliver them, and then they'll collect them. Obviously, at the venues there where I introduce, I get something for that, so that's worth noting and doing things like that. But as far as buying Xmas lights for giant letters, you'd have to seriously be putting on quite a production and getting some revenue back to justify doing that, because you've got to store it all year round as well. So and then with anything like these, you want them to work when you plug them in. If you leave them sitting for 11.5 months a year, then sod's law, they won't work when you want them. So hire them in. And I'll put a link to Little Gem FX in the description below. So if you want to get in contact with them, then do so, and I'm sure they'll be able to assist you should you need such said letters. So yeah, love the new intro, by the way. Keep the videos coming, great stuff. Yes, Gaz, thank you for that. My new intro, I'm quite pleased with it myself, and the new logo bit at the end as well, if you haven't seen that. So anyway, yes, thank you very much. Thanks for your question, Gaz, and now let's have a look at our next question. So our next question is from Kieran Spooner. Kieran, hello, how are you? Kieran's always an avid commenter and on the channel quite regularly, and it's really appreciated. Kieran, thank you very much. So, hi JP, absolutely love the new intro and outro, looks brilliant. Well, thank you, Kieran, just mentioned that before, that's brilliant. I'm glad everybody is liking it, because it's been a long time coming, me actually getting one of those. I should have done it a long time ago, really. Anyway, hashtag questions. I only started being a mobile DJ a year ago, which your tips and tricks have really helped me with. Fabulous, thank you, Kieran, that's brilliant to know. Starting off with mostly kids parties, but getting increasingly more adult parties. What type of adult parties are you doing, Kieran? Anyway, yeah, and quite often I don't end up with many people dancing, as that can be quite disheartening. What's your surefire way to get people down on the dance floor, and how do you keep them there? Okay, that's quite an in-depth question there. So there are certain types of events that it doesn't matter what you do, Kieran, they're not going to dance. It's life. You can pull out the same tunes as you did the week before, you can mix perfectly, you can do everything that you could possibly be asked to do. If they're not a dancing bunch, if they're a bit self-conscious or other reasons, then that is life. You're more likely to get people dancing who are, when there's a group of friends there, alcohol's flying, and they're looking for a good time. It's difficult. It is difficult, I know, but I do have the odd one. I've just actually finished a Christmas party, the last one. We only had 50 people in the room, so I didn't have a packed dance floor, couldn't have a packed dance floor, but I had a few people dancing, and there were points when there was nobody on the dance floor, and I'm going to show that in that gig log just to show it's real. But what would I do? What I do is I plan. Okay, so I like to find out what is the event about, who's the type of people going to the event, age groups and things. And then I have my playlists already pre-sorted. So I've got top tunes that I know will work in each sections and genres, so I can literally jump in and out of my playlist and select the songs that are getting the responses. Do a few test ones beforehand. A good idea is don't just stick on a playlist and sit there while you're waiting, while everybody's having the buffet and things like that. Put on some tunes to get you identifying your audience, okay? Because if you look at the audience, they're sitting there, they could be eating or talking. If you see them tapping their hands, if they're moving with the beat, if they're tapping their feet, they're interacting with you early on, okay? And that helps you identify what type of music is going to help you later, okay? So that's what I would say. There's no surefire way. Just experience, build up your playlists, get your genres sorted, have everything for everybody, and drop in and out, and effectively go from there. Obviously, have your absolute bangers for each age group. Right, next part of your question. I love your channel and watch everything you release. Thank you, Kieran. That's very much appreciated. Thanks for all your time you put into us viewers. Kieran out. Okay, Kieran, great. Thanks for your question, and good luck with your DJing. I'm sure it'll you'll do fabulously. As you say, you're working your way from kids parties, and it's not the easiest thing. The kids parties are a difficult one, and then the smaller family parties can be a bit, you know, hit and miss. But if you can get a few big, you know, weddings and 40th, 50th, people who are not as conscious about the fact, oh, somebody's watching me if I dance. Don't, you know, you want people who just want to go out and have a good time. If you can aim for those type of audiences, then it'll all come together. But don't be disheartened. We all go through it at some point. Anyway, up next, from DJ Dynablend, I've got to be probably the most famous DJ in New Zealand. Is that not correct? Anyway, question from himself. Here he's a YouTuber. I'm sure you all subscribe to him already. Anyway, it says #Yo JP. How do you stay motivated with DJing, and what do you do when you start to get bored with it all? Right, well, motivated to DJ, I don't have a problem with motivation for it. I really still enjoy it. I just get a bit tired at times because I'm getting a little bit older. We'd all love to be in our mid-20s. I'd love my knowledge now, mid-20s. That would be perfect. So yeah, no, I don't have any. I don't have the problems with the motivation there. I know that you are doing a lot more gigs at the moment, and I know from myself from a few years last year, a couple of years ago, I was doing 4 weddings a week and things like that, and it can become very tiring. I mean, obviously, I had a little bit of a gap recently because I had the operation on my knee, and I really enjoyed just getting straight back into it. So that's good. But yeah. And what do you do to start? What do you do when you start to get bored with it all? Well, to be honest with you, I've not got bored with DJing yet. I should be at the age I am, I suppose. Really, starting to. But at the moment, I do thoroughly enjoy it. But I think that's really important for all DJs, that you've got to enjoy doing it. You've got to love it. You've got to love your music, and you've got to love what you're doing, because it is euphoric when you get that big packed dance floor and everybody feeding back to you, the goosebumps, the feedback. There is nothing else like it, and let's face it, we live for the next gig that is like that, and I'm hoping that my next one will be like that too. In fact, I'm actually doing a club night in about 4 or 5 days time, 27th of December, at a local club. I've been asked to do a 80s, 90s, noughties clubs classics night. So I'm going to be going in there. I'm going to try and do a gig log there. I'm going to do something a bit different on that one, so that'll be interesting. Okay, next bit of the question is, how do you find time to practice and download new music, etc.? Okay, well, I'll be honest. I don't really practice a lot. I did practice a bit this year, because when I bought my new Pioneer XDJ RX, there was a few new features and functions and buttons, and I wanted to be fluid and quick with being able to pull up different tracks. I wanted to be quick with using the pads and all the other bits and pieces. So I did do a bit of practicing, and I am going to practice between Christmas and this gig on the 27th because I'm DJing at a club which I haven't done for probably about 9 months, and I'm going to be using, they've got CDJ 2000 Nexus 2s there with a DJM 900 NX2, so I should be using all of that gear. As you lot know, I take my USB sticks. I'm contemplating taking my laptop with me just to see what it's like. But I'll have my USBs because if I need to flick back. But I might just I might just do a bit of practicing beforehand with that. So yeah, so that's when I do that. As far as downloading new music, I don't do a lot of downloading new music. I have every time there's a new Now album that comes out, over here we have these Now albums, and I have issue 1 to 100, and I got 104. My daughter's nicked 104. She's got it upstairs. I've got all of those, so I will upload new music when that comes in, and if there's something that a wedding's requested, I'll add it. Otherwise, I just won't bother adding new music. I just don't personally see the point at the moment for me. For the gigs I do, the stuff I do, even the club night I'm doing is 80s, 90s and noughties, so I don't need to get any new music for that. So yeah, no, so that's where I am with that. So thank you very much for your question, Kirk. That's really appreciated. Everybody, DJ Dynablend, if you don't subscribe already, pop over to his channel. He's just done a video actually this last week on DMX control that you might find interesting if you're wanting to try and DMX some lighting and that, and you're looking at the basics and how to set up. Some good advice in there from him. So anyway, thank you everybody for watching this episode number 2 of Hashtag Questions. Don't forget, if you have a burning DJ question, please pop it in the comments below. Hashtag Questions, put your question, and I will be more than happy to have a look and see if I can, with my knowledge, answer that for you. I'll do my best to give a nice, full and honest answer. So if you do have anything that you want to have answered, please pop them there. As I say, really appreciated all your views. Thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love you to give us one of these. If not, if you don't like it, then you can always do that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, and 74% of my viewing is from non-subscribers. So if you're one of those, please don't forget to consider subscribing. If you do, then you'll need to turn on the bell. And until next time, JP out.
Audio.